G'day viewers, welcome to another video. Before we get started, I'd like to ask, could you please hit the like button? It helps me with the YouTube algorithm and will help them decide who to share it to. It just progresses my channel, helps me out. And also, if you haven't subscribed, could you please do that, because 75% of my viewers aren't subscribed. It would mean a lot to me. It'd help me grow my channel. Thank you. G'day viewers. Most of you are wondering how my prospecting trip went. I didn't have any luck. But prospecting is not about getting gold, it's about looking for it. And if you get some, great. I went 650 kilometers away from where I live. I ended up camping a couple of nights in the middle of between two different towns. They're both gold bearing districts. So I was just past Payne's Find, almost at Mount Magnet. The biggest problem I had was gaining access to open pending ground that I'm allowed to detect on. Every time I tried, I faced a problem with private property and fences, and I couldn't gain access. I've got an app on my phone that shows me where all the closed tenements are and the open tenements. I think for people in America, claims, gold claims, we call them tenements. I forgot to take the GoPro with me, and my girlfriend recorded everything on her phone. And the problem I'm having is when I make a video, I make it all looks perfect, and then when I upload it to YouTube, or when I save the video, it saves upside down. And I tried everything, including already making the video with it upside down, thinking it would correct itself. It didn't happen. When I googled why does a video keep going upside down, it says because my video card is not suitable. I do have another computer that I'm working on getting ready for, so I can use that instead. It's a gaming computer, so it should have a lot better video card and graphics card than what I've got now. I've got to clone my hard drive into a bigger hard drive, a 2 terabyte instead of a half terabyte, so that I can use that computer, and then hopefully I'll be able to put the film together, so that'll come down the track. So what I did do while I was out and about was I came across 2 large quartz outcrops, and I took some rocks from each one to bring home and crush and pan. I didn't find any that were as buggy and as mineralized as what I would have liked, so I don't really have a lot of hope that I will find any gold in these rocks, but I'll give it a go. You know, got nothing to lose from giving it a shot. So I'll show you what I got. There's a few smaller ones here. You can see the quartz there, but it's not really mineralized a lot. There's a tiny little patch here. A lot of this red staining is from the dirt up there. The dirt is red. This is ironstone, this one. There's usually not a lot of gold, if any, in ironstone. Sometimes it happens. This is a nice quartz bit. Bit of mineralization here. See, the dirt where I was is bright red, a real deep dark red, because Western Australia is just full of iron. That's where most of the iron comes from. All these mines up north are getting the iron and steel. So because there's iron in the dirt, it rusts, and then that causes the dirt to go red. A little bit of mineralization on this one. I did actually take some footage excuse me, while I was up there, so that you could see the terrain. You see this has got some nice colorization going through the end of it there. Yeah, so you can see what it looks like up there. That's another bit of ironstone. I just thought I'd throw it in, give it a shot. This has got a bit of mineralization on the end here. still not as dark as what I would have liked. I got these as well. This is a nice big chunk of quartz, and it's got a lot of black in there. I would have liked the whole thing to look like that. This dark black section, if any, on this rock is where there would be gold hiding. All this white part, that's just bull quartz, and you don't usually find, you can, but you don't usually find gold in bull quartz. Bit of mineralisation there, bit of something going on there. So yeah, that one could be interesting. There's another big chunk of quartz. You see the bull quartz on the top, and then underneath it's all mineralised. It goes right the way around. And a lot of this red dirt is just from where it was sitting. There's a big patch of black in there. Nice bit of black in here. So I'll just give it a shot. Some more black on this one. Dark staining in there. But without washing all this red dirt off, it's really going to be hard to tell. There's something going on there. I'm not going to wash it, I'm just going to grind it, all of it, into a powder and pan it out, see if there's anything in it. There's a lot of dark reddish coloured staining on that. That's not the dirt, that's in the rock. And then there's this part here which I thought looked quite interesting. You can see there's cracks in it there, so that it could be gold hiding in that. Some more mineralisation just there and here. So I'm going to grind them up in the dolly pot. No point showing you that because everyone knows how that goes. And when I make them into small enough pieces like this size here, and I can put them through my rock crusher, turn it into dust. So I'll show you that when I'm doing that. Even this one might be a little bit too big. I might have to snap this one in half or something. But yeah, I want to try and get all those big rocks down to about this size. Grind it to a pulp and then pan it and see what's there. I hope there's at least something. But like I said, I'm not very hopeful. However, I don't know if I don't try. So I'll get cracking on breaking these up, putting them in my dolly pot. And I'll come back when I've got some rock to put in the grinder. Show you when I get there. Okay, so I've broken all the rocks up into small enough pieces that'll fit in the gold trap. I wasn't very bright because I broke the paver, but that can be replaced. So now, time to feed them into here, crush it to a powder. I've got my chest mount on, so I'll see if this is easy enough for you to see or not. Okay, I'm not going to show you the whole bucket load because that would just be boring, but just pick out a few that hopefully fit in the hole. I've got some that are in the chamber now, and then some that I'll load up. That one's probably not going to fit. When I turn this around, it lines up with the shaft there and drops down into there, but I've already got a couple in, so I'm just loading up the chamber now. I'll just put 2 or 3 in because I don't want it to jam up. We'll see how it goes. See, it's already jammed up. The 2 that are in there, I shouldn't have put them in. Oh, I'm going to take them out. These rocks probably need to go a little bit smaller, I think. No, I'm going to take the front off. I'll end up burning out my grinder. Maybe I should just put one in at a time. It's going to take a long time, the whole bucket, but so be it. I'll just get 1 or 2 ground up for you, and then I'll just do the rest off camera. There's probably going to be some fine black dust in here from doing chips. I brushed it out as best I could with a paintbrush. There's bound to be a little bit that I missed. Better off getting it turning first before I put them in. Oh, let's try again. Doesn't take long to go to dust. You can hear it doesn't even bang around in there. As soon as it hits it, that's it. We'll do a few more. Get it loaded up with dust. See what this looks like. Look how good this is. Fine dust. Just one little stone. It's all fine dust like talcum powder. That's going to be perfect. I did look through the bucket to see if there was any specimens. Just a quick look as I broke them up. I don't see any specimens. Like I said, I'm not very hopeful that I'm going to get any gold out of this, but all I can do is try. So I'll continue doing this whole bucket. It's going to take forever, and come back once it's all crushed. Alright, so I've finished grinding it all down, and I used a paintbrush to scrape out every single bit that I can get out of this thing. So there's definitely not going to be any trapped in there. I got it all in the bucket. I'm adding water to it as I go to make sure that it's hydrated. Otherwise, if it's dry, it could be hydrophobic and just float. So I'm making sure it's nice and wet. I did have my panning gear out, but there's a lot more here than just a few pans. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to use my blue bowl. I mean, I buy this stuff, I might as well use it. I haven't used my blue bowl in so long. So what I expect will happen is the lighter quartz will go first, then the iron, and then the gold, if there's any, should be left behind. So we'll see. And I'll get my blue bowl set up and put a bit more water with this, and then we'll start running it through the blue bowl. Okay, so I've got the fuel bowl, I got the blue bowl set up, and it's totally level. You have to have it level. For those who haven't seen a blue bowl, you get 3 feet that are adjustable. Alright, so you've got the metal feet on the bowl, you've got these plastic feet that go on the bucket, and they turn, they're adjustable. You need to have it, for best operation, have it set so that it's level, and 50 gallons per hour pump in the bucket that usually comes with the blue bowl, and I've mixed the dirt into a slurry, and it's a slow process, and it's just a matter of feeding a small amount at a time gradually into the blue bowl. Now there's a section at the side here where the water comes out. It's in line with the pipe there, so you generally drop it in around about that point. What I might do is just turn it down a tiny bit to start with, and just gradually feed it in. Let that go for a bit. So that water pressure slowed right down, and it will slow more. I've just turned it almost off. I'm going to gradually increase the speed as I go. I had it set a bit high just to make sure that it was all running properly. It's actually pretty well off this 90 degrees, so I just crack it on a little bit and keep adjusting it as I need to, just to make sure that only the lighter stuff is coming over the top into the hole and not the heavies. It takes 10 minutes or so to get it set right. I should eventually start seeing clear water, and see the lines of the dirt all starting to build up around the center, and then I can monitor how much is going in, whether it's the heavies or the lights. So I'll get it set up properly and then I'll show you running. Alright, so I've got it running ultra slow. I can see the fine dust particles moving around slowly, and if it was running any faster they'd be spilling over the edge. You can even see around here the light particles that had been coming up and over have now stopped and hovered there. I don't think the water will clear up a whole lot more because of the nature of the dirt, because there's so much red iron in there, red rust. But it is slowly clearing up a little bit now. I don't know how much better it will get. I can just start making out the patterns of the dirt that's left in there still on the bottom, and I may gradually release it, a bit more water soon. I'm just waiting for all this light dust that's moving around to go. I don't know how well you can see. Through the viewfinder I can start making out the patterns of the dirt. So it's just a slow thing now, just gradually feeding more and more dirt. There's no point in feeding any more right now because there's still plenty in there. It's just a balancing game, getting the water flow right. You just turn this little switch here. So it's fun. It's more enjoyable than panning. Panning's a necessary evil, but it's not something I'd want to do too much. Whereas this, you can just sit back and relax and watch it. So there's not much for you to see right now. If that changes and there's something happens that you need to see, I'll put the camera back on. Otherwise, come back later when it's almost done. Okay, I've had to make some alterations because the blue bowl is sort of best used on concentrates in a river. So you've got your sand granules, larger and small pebbles and so on. Because this is all so fine and it's all the same size, as quickly as it gets pumped out, it gets pumped back in again. So I'm not really getting anywhere. So what I've done is I've put it inside this big tub so I can allow it to overflow. Now, I could have just done this on the front lawn or something, but I'm trying to find an extension cord at the moment. It's not happening. So this will do. It can overflow into this big bucket, and I've got the pump in a separate bucket with tap water, and a hose in there. I'll just keep topping it up as it gets low. So I'm going to be always pumping fresh water in, and the light stuff will be pumped out, overflow into here. It might also enable me to see better what's going on, because pumping dirty water back in just made it too hard to see. So I'll turn it on. and we'll see how this goes. Now, just because there's quartz doesn't mean there's going to be gold. Yes, quartz is probably the best indicator of gold, but there's a lot of times you'll find quartz with no gold. It's only one of many indicators. The other indicator would be ironstone, another one would be copper, and you've got to have it in the gold bearing area. So you could find quartz in a place where there's no gold, and doesn't mean there's going to be gold in it. This has a few things going for it. There's a lot of ironstone in the area. The land that these quartz outcrops are on is actually the same block of land that there's a gold mine on. There was ironstone, there was quartz, so I didn't see any copper, but I got all the other indicators. So it's a possibility that this is going to have gold, just a possibility. However, like I said before, it wasn't as mineralized as I would have liked. I would have really liked to have some really buggy rocks, real dark purples and reds in there, and dark bits of black. But we'll see what happens. So you can already see that it's clear up than what it was before, and I can see the light being picked up and shipped out. It's a little bit fast at this point, so I'm just going to back it off a little bit, because it's riding up the outside and I don't want that. I want it to go up the middle. Back it off a bit more. That should do. It's slowing down nicely. You can see all the little stones that didn't get crushed moving around. Any gold, if there's gold, would be staying with those heavies, and all the light stuff will be pumped out. Any small bits of quartz that don't weigh much, they're coming out, but you can see most of it is sitting. Now I've turned it down too much, I think. I had it set right before when I was using it, but once you turn it off and back on again, you probably have to set it again. But that should be fine now for getting rid of the heavies, the lights. So I'll put some more in. Any of the light clay, dusty stuff will come off. There could have been bits of clay that were stuck to the rocks. Like I said, I didn't wash the rocks. I just crushed them as they were, because there could have been gold stuck to the rocks. So I just did them as they were. It's been a few days since I set this up. A lot of it's dried on the spoon, as you can see. Sorry, I didn't realise you couldn't see. The spoon's got a lot of stuff dried onto it. I was waiting for this big black bucket to be available, this round tub. So now there's no movement. So I'm going to go up a little bit, a bend. And that looks like it should be about right. Just enough for the lights to move and not the heavies. So I'll carry on with this, and if there's something else to tell you, I'll come back. So when all the lights have gone, you're left with all the heavy stuff in there, as you can see. And this is when I put the next scoop in. I'll wait until it goes clear, and then I'll put another scoop in. I can see some stones on the outside moving, but they're not in any hurry to go over the center. However, there is a lot of sand build up on top of lights. So I've got a stir rod here, and a spoon or anything will do. I'll just move it around, and you can see a lot of the light being released, all the light stuff. I'll just go around like that, just give it all a stir up, just liberate all that light stuff that's been caught underneath. A spoon's good because you can go from the center and out, pull it all backwards, but this is fine. I am getting to a point where there's too much heavies in there for the water flow, and not yet, but soon I may need to stop adding more and just turn the water supply up a bit, but it'll go a fair while yet. And then what I'm doing now is grabbing a bucket, jug. Even though it's dirty water, it's still clearer than what it was before, and I'm just topping this bucket back up because I don't want this big black bucket to overflow. And you can see it's reaching the top of the white bucket, so I'm going to turn the main water supply off now. I have it trickling in there, and I'll just keep topping it up like this. I've been doing it for a while, and you can see that it's still clear in there. You can still see what's going on. So I'll turn the water supply off now and just keep feeding what water we've got. Mainly the heavies have sunk to the bottom, so even though it's dirty water, you can still see through it. You can see all the lights in there moving around, and that's what we want. And you see in the center how it's starting to go around the cone. And I'll turn the water supply up because there's building up too much dirt in there, and you can probably tell now all the dirt has shifted to the center. There's all this dirt around the cone here. It's all empty on the outside, and it's all moved towards the middle. Now there are still some light stuff going over, so I'm waiting until I don't see any more going over. Don't know if you can tell, there's a pocket there where it's all getting stirred up, and here it sort of has this weird shape. There's like a fan with blades. That's how it kind of looks. If there was less in there and clearer water, you'd see it really well. But I'm just waiting until a lot of this gradually moves over, and then I'm going to give it all a push back again, and a lot of it will then be released. Just wanted to show you how it starts to build up like that. What I may need to do is turn the water supply off, bring everything out to the outside, and then turn it back on again. Okay, I've turned the water supply off, and what happens is the water drains back through the inlet back to the pump. There's no one-way valve on it, which doesn't really matter. But now you can see the pattern has formed because it's dropped down. So now, I don't have a small spoon here with me. I'll just grab this and just move it all out to the outside. And then straight away when I turn it on, a lot of it's going to really cloud up and start moving to the center. And I've been worried the first few times that I ever used this that, you know, will I lose gold? But I've tested many a time when I've done it. I've panned whatever's come out, and I haven't lost any gold. The gold's going to be a lot heavier than anything else that's in there. So it may move to the center, but it won't have the ability to ride up the cone. You better see more when we get towards the last little bit. If there is any gold in there, you'll see how where it stays. So now I turn the power supply back on, and it'll all start to shift to the middle again. I may need to do that a few times until it either empties a lot of the dirt out or it stops moving because all the lights have gone. So I just need patience now. You see a lot of it's all stirred up and it's all going in the center. Let's keep an eye on it. Now that I've run it on a faster speed for 5-10 minutes, you can see most of it's gone except all the heavies. A couple of heavy rocks here. This one's ironstone, and then there's this here which is too heavy to come up at that speed. And you've got to remember, anything that has made it over lands in the bucket first, and then the lights overflow. So if any gold does make it through there, there's no way it's going to come all the way up the side of this bucket. And gold being 19 times heavier than water would just go straight to the bottom of that bucket. So once I get to the last little bit and I'll finish running this bucket through, I'm going to put only clean water so we can see what's going on. And then anything that's in here, when I get to this point, as well as whatever's in this bucket, I'll pan out and we'll see what we get. We might not, I don't think any gold will go in there, but just in case, the two lots will be our concentrates, and we'll see what we get. So now, turn the water supply back on. I've turned it down a bit, and just run another spoonful through. I'll turn it right down, and I'll have to go through the whole setting up again, getting the right speed. We've gone too low, I think. It's better. It's very clayey, like it sticks to the spoon, doesn't want to come out. Now you notice I'm dumping it in there above where the water comes out. There's no point in doing it over here. This is where it's coming out, so you drop it in there. And there's a lot of light stuff going to go over. And I'll keep feeding it like that for a while until it all builds up again like before. And then I'll turn it up again. Okay, I'm down to the last bit. My bucket's empty. And I'm using only clean water. I've piled everything back up in front of where the water comes in. And then now it's all starting to move around, and you'll see the fine set moving around the centre. It's definitely the right speed, because you only want the light stuff to come around the centre. It's okay if all the other sand moves, but if it hasn't got the speed to come up, it's what you want. Each time it moves, you bring it back, clear out some more that's buried. But I've done it about 6 times now, so it's almost due to have the speed up a little bit. So I'm going to turn it up a bit, not much, just a little bit. All the fine particles have been run through, and all we're down to now is the heavy, larger pieces that weren't crushed properly. And if there's any gold, that's where it'll be. I might as well get these bigger stones out now, because they're not going to be any good. Just quickly check the quartz for specimens. Okay, so I'm going to put this into my bowl, my pan I should say. Sorry, I didn't realise you can't see. Just swishing out the bowl, making sure that it's empty. So that can go out of my way. This can go out of my way for now. What I'm going to do now is, just like with the gravity separation when I do BGA chips and so on, I'm going to try and get all the lighter material to float, and I'll pour it out, and then I'll put more water in and keep doing that, stirring it up until I'm left with just the heavies. See if I can get all this to stir up a bit. Just wait a couple of seconds. Any gold that's in there would have fallen to the bottom. There's quite a lot in there, so it's going to take me a while. I'll come back when I've done this. Okay, so I'm down to the heavies. Put them in the bucket can. It was a fail. Okay, bucket's empty. Now, I'll give the water a few minutes to settle all the heavy stuff, so it'll be fairly clean on top. So then I can pan this concentrates. Okay, I'm going to show you two of my pet peeves. The worst things that people do that I see when they're panning, okay? And I'll explain why. Firstly, it's okay to go in a circle, get all broken up with your hands, make sure it's all moving around, and then move in a circle. That's fine to get it moving, but then you have to go side to side, alright? And it's hard to show you, but you try and get your pan on a 45 like that, because you want everything to be in this corner down here. So you get it moving, by all means move it around, but then go side to side. You want all that gold to drop down into that corner, right? And I'll tell you why. If you go around and around and around, the gold, if you get it moving around like that, moving around, the gold could be anywhere. It could be here, and then when you go to pan off, you're going to wash the back things first. The water comes over and it washes the back away first, and the gold could go straight out. Okay, you have to make sure once you get it moving around that you go side to side, and any gold that's in there will go down to this corner. You get it moving, and then you don't dip it in and push it along and try and ease everything out. You just gently do it. You just want some of the light stuff to come off, and then you read, it's called agitate. So you agitate it, and then you go again. Just gently take all the top off, and back again, bring it all back to the center, swirl it around if you must, but then go side to side. You have to go side to side. It's the biggest problem people do. I see people swirling it around like this and then go pan it off, and straight away they could be losing gold. So always go side to side. That's the first thing. The second thing is people rely too much on these riffles. Now they're there to help you, yes, but they rely on them. There's no point relying on them. Use them as a tool for sure, but don't rely on them, because they get loaded up full of dirt, and then the gold could be behind it all and just come straight off the top. So you don't rely on them. You make sure that the gold stays in that corner, and then you pan off. Just get the light stuff off. See, all the back's coming out first. If there was gold there, it'd be gone. Then you bring it back to the center again, swirl it around side to side. Water is your friend. You need water in there, right? You can't do it with a dry pan. It just won't work. You need to have water in there, get it moving, I know for a fact that if there's any gold in there, it's down in that corner. And then wash all the top off. Bring it back to the center again. You don't keep relying on those ripples. Swirl it around, side to side. Wash the top off. So all you're doing is the top layer. Bring it back to the center. Move it around, side to side. If you do this, you won't lose any gold. Just take the top off, bring it back to the center, move it around, side to side, and take off the top. And when I get down to this much, I change tactics. Bring it all back to the center, side to side. Now, well, I want, not over on the side here, but I want it here. I tap, and that's going to make any heavies go to this corner. It's going to make sure that they drive up to that corner. And then I pan backwards. You got all this smooth area here, so you want to bring the lights back. Just do it gently. You don't want to lose. You don't want to wash heaps of it back in one hit. All the light stuff. Now, that's not going to go anywhere. So what you can do is you can tip this down, right down like that, and wash out the stuff that you've brought down off the back. You don't take too much, just a little bit. Swirl it around, agitate it, bringing all the loose stuff to the top. I see people tapping the side. There's no point tapping the side. You want it there. The gold's gonna drive towards where you're tapping it. And then just wash off the top. And all this here is no good. So now I can rinse it out. Just go halfway. Put some more water. Round and round, agitate it side to side. I really hope there's some gold there, because it's not going to prove my point if there's not. If I had some small pieces of gold, I would put them in there to show you. I'll do that on another video. Now these bits of stone, they can come out, because they're only going to hinder your panning ability. See, this won't go anywhere. It doesn't matter if you tip it up, it's going to stay there. You wash that out. Now I've done this many a time and then panned what's been tipped into the bucket to make sure that I don't lose gold, and I've guaranteed every time I never lose gold doing it this way. Doesn't matter how fine the gold is, you just go slower. You just do slow movements like that. If it's really, really ultra fine gold, like flour gold, you just do very small movements. Round and round. Bring all that gold, all the top soil back to the bottom. That's going to stay there, you don't have to worry about it. Tip all this out. That's why I do the flat side. Now, to see if there's any gold. Just spread it out like that, and may need to use a loop. I'm going to get the torch from my phone and see if I can shine some light on the subject. It's not looking promising at this point. Just trying to unlock my phone. It's got a fingerprint thing and my fingers are wet, so it's not really allowing me to get into my phone, which is lovely. Okay, so I'll just do the pin code. Okay. Nothing's jumping out at me. I'm going to have to go and get my loop I'll be back in a minute because it could be ultra fine. Okay, get my nice gold loop out. Put this container aside. Now, like I said, I wasn't holding much hope for this quartz, but I'll have a look anyway and have a look to see. I'm going to need to go into some light for this. It's hard to show you on camera. I'm going to have to do it off camera and I'll come back if there's anything there, I'll tell you. What I did to make it easier was I put it in a small white dish so I can get closer to it because it's too awkward in the pan. And there is some ultra fine particles of gold in there. I tried to put the camera up to the loop and show you, and I just can't do it. I've even tried using my phone camera on the loop. It just doesn't seem to show up, but when I look through the loop myself, I can see it as clear as day. They're ultra fine. I don't think I've ever seen gold so small. So not a total waste of time. I'm certainly not rich, but it was a fun experience. First go at hard rock mining, I guess you could call it. I just wish I could show you. Maybe next time there'll be specimens. Alright, so that's a wrap for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Sorry there's nothing there to show you. I'll see you on the next video.